Is it possible to use a water penis pump for cheap? I mean, most of the prices you're going to see about $400 and over. Well, that is the question of today's episode. Let's jump in. I hope you're doing fantastic today, and I hope you're ready for an interesting question here at the Mask and Health Solutions podcast that I got via Instagram, as most of you guys have been, making me questions and making requests, and a lot of the stuff I will address and I will get to. And believe you me, I'm looking to write articles on every single one of these questions or interview the veterans that, obviously I want to learn more from, and I know that you guys want to learn a lot more from too. But without further ado, today's question was in regards to using a hydro pump or a water penis pump. And the question is there any way to get, quality penis pump for cheap? And my answer to this question is that it's not necessarily, because let's just talk about the two main players in the hydro penis pump game. To just put it rather bluntly, but the two major players in that arena are the Pentimate and the Bathmate, right? And they're both about $3 and up. They're both quality products. They're both meant to be used while you're taking a shower or while you're in the bath, just doing your thing. You can use them in a hot tub. And that's what makes these products so good, And the combination of using nice warm water, like I said, I always recommend this if you have the budget for it, as a way to warm up and get the penile tissue ready for the workout, right? That being said, before I had the money to spend on that, and before I could tell my wife, hey, I'm about to spend $400 on a hydro pump, and she was looking at me like, what is that? And why is it so expensive? I'm pretty sure those products don't cost more than, 50 cents to make. From her perspective, she just thought it was a massive Coke bottle or something. She's like, what is that? And obviously I explained it to her, and obviously, I was able to get it and work around the budget, of course, because I get it. I mean, it's an expensive thing to invest in, and it's not something that you're just going to jump into, whether it's the Pentimate or the Bathmate. Both of these products are pricey. Both of these products are, high quality products. They're excellent, but they're also very expensive, which is why the question I got was, is there a way to kind of bypass that? Is there a way to, get a cheaper model or get a cheaper version? I'll offer some alternatives. And the first one would be, you could definitely check on Amazon. Granted, is it going to be the real thing? Is it going to be an authentic? If it's costing $70, maybe not. It's probably a knockoff coming from China or India. Or you can go on Alibaba or AliExpress, and you'll probably find something similar along the same lines that is probably very similar to the Bathmate model or the Pentimate model. But is it going to be the exact same thing? Probably not. It's probably going to be, it'll probably be lacking in quality just a bit. And that's kind of the price you pay. But you could get it for $60-$70, right? Which is a whole lot cheaper. There are also other versions of the hydro pump or water penis pump that you can get as well. I saw an electric one as well on Amazon when I was just kind of scrolling, seeing what they had. And this one was only about, less than $100. So that's also another option that you can go with. Now, the option that I would recommend, and the one that I use when when I didn't have the expendable income that I do now, when I didn't have the liquidity that I have now, like when I was younger and I was starting off, and it just wasn't in the cards for me, right? And what I found was I was able to experiment with the Love penis pump that I had, and I was reading on the forums like I do, and like I recommend you guys do it. Check out Thunder's Place, check out PE Gym, check out Matters of Size. Like I said, these guys have been at it for a lot longer. There's a plethora of knowledge there. Tons of brainiacs out there too that know exactly what they're talking about and who have been doing it for far longer than I. But that being said, one of the subjects that I saw was very interesting, and what they recommended was get your air pump, you fill it up with water about 2-3 inches, not the whole thing, because then your penis won't be able to expand, right? You got to calculate, how much residual space you're going to have after you've packed it quite a bit, or depending on how much you can pack it, right? So basically what I did is I filled it up with nice warm water, got my pump, made sure that, the hose wasn't actually attached at that point. At that point, it was just a cylinder that I put about 2-3 inches of warm water in. Then I inserted my penis into it and started pumping away, making sure that there was a good solid seal and that none of the water was busting out, right? And it was nice warm water, and I got a wicked pump. And even now, like, if I'm looking to get the best, most uniform, and honestly, it's the best pump. I mean, that's kind of what sets the hydro pumps and the water penis pumps apart from the air pumps, is the fact that you're nice and warm throughout the whole process. That in itself is a blessing. The circulation that you get, it's honestly a million times more comfortable, right? The barrier to entry for this one, though, like I said before, and in regards to the question, is obviously the money, right? Like, it's super expensive. But if you can afford to shell out $110 or $130, depending on what your budget is, you get yourself a good, decent air pump. You could definitely do this. You could check out Matters of Size, LA Pump. What's the other good one? LA Pump, Matters of Size. And the other one's just not coming to me right now. Oh, the Love. Code is Distributing, I believe, is their website, right? And you can just go to any one of these websites and you get yourself a good air pump. Granted, some of them are pricier than others. You could check out Amazon. You could even start off with a cheaper model if you're not looking to invest, into it too heavy. And you could still get the effect. Would I recommend the cheap models long term? No. But if you want to get your foot in the door and you want to try it out and you say, hey, you know what, I can combine it and use it with a little bit of water and see how it does. I don't know how good a quality those products are, because I do know that the ones that I recommend, they're more on the pharmaceutical grade of things. You can clean them out. They're better as far as maintenance goes and as far as, quality goes, right? But that's around the budget of $140, depending on what kind of model you go with, what kind of gun you go with, and whether you go with a gauge or not. I always recommend the gauge. And if you're not able to and you just want to start off with the starter model, hey, that's a great way to go about it. But all you got to do is put in some water into it. Make sure that hose isn't there, because if you do get water into the hose, and I've done it myself, the pump, when you're kind of taking the air out of the cylinder and you're using the pump, you can kind of tell that there's a little bit of moisture there, and long term it won't be good, because you'll start to deteriorate the inner workings of said penis pump, which is not something that, I don't think anybody wants to do. You want to keep it functioning at its best for as long as possible. The benefits that I've found from doing penis pumping this way, like I said before, is that your penile tissue is warmed up, man. It is a great feeling. And in contrast, when you're just doing the air pumping without it, you will find that your penis will get cold. You will see a little bit, lack of circulation. You will see the glands get a little bit purple. And like I said before, discoloration is a real thing, and I think you could 100% avoid it. And like we were talking about before about marathon penis pumping, you could probably, if you were able to marathon penis pump with water involved, man, it would be a whole lot comfortable. And I'm pretty sure you could do it for a whole lot longer, right? Comfort is the name of the game for me when it comes to penis enhancement, penis enlargement. Whether you're doing stretching, hanging, I don't care, man. If you can't do it comfortably, it's because you're causing pain. And if you're causing pain to yourself, that means that something is not right. Something is not good. And eventually, that may lead to injury. I do know that sometimes we do got to up the ante, and we do got to, stimulate or throw more stimulus at it, at the workout. And obviously, we have to gauge it appropriately so that we can get the, what we desire, but without hurting ourselves in the process. Like I've said before, I'm not a doctor, and this is 100% anecdotal. I'm just basing it off of my personal experience and off of what I've read and what I've learned from guys who have done it successfully, and they've done it without hurting themselves. Granted, a lot of guys have hurt themselves along the process and they bounce back. I mean, hey, it's not perfect, but I don't care what you're doing. You could be crossing the street and get hurt. I mean, you could roll an ankle. So you never know what could happen, but obviously we want to make sure that we avoid as many of these variables we just don't want to we want to avoid anything funky going down. You want to make sure you do it and you progress in a safe way. If you're able to do that with progressive overload, you will find success. And if you want to add water into your penis pump, hey, you know what? You get two birds stoned at once. You'll be able to save money. And the one thing I will say, in contrast to the hydro pumps, is that I find that the pressure, you can definitely, get that pressure up quite high in the air pump by adding water into it. Now, would I recommend going up super crazy? No, but you could definitely, you could take it up a little bit. You'll be comfortable while you're in it, and it'll make your life a whole lot easier, and it'll make the process a whole lot nicer. So if you're looking for a way to spend less money, but you want the benefits of a hydro pump, you could try that. Or you could go on Amazon and find alternatives to it. As far as different models that I know that exist, like I said before, it's just pretty much the Penimate and the Bathmate. They're good, excellent, great products, but obviously if it's more than you're willing to spend off the bat, get yourself an air pump and just add a little bit of water. Just be cautious in the way that you're doing it so you don't get any moisture into the hose, and you're good to go, man. Obviously, you do want to make sure that you're, close to a bathtub, because if you're sitting on the couch and all of a sudden you release and boom, you're going to make a big old mess. And that would not lead to good things in my household. I don't know about yours, but, I don't see other family members being too happy with a wet couch. I have seen guys, though, that do pump, on the couch with, like, bathmates, and they got big rubber containers on the ground. I don't know. I couldn't do it. But, hey, if you can, and or you got this setup where, you can just release the water right there, by all means. If you have a jacuzzi or a hot tub, man, you are one step ahead of the game. You could just go there, chill for a little bit, relax, and do your pumping in there, man. Do your water pumping in there, and you will reap the benefits while you de-stress from a long, long day. But that's pretty much all I have in regards to how to penis pump, do your hydro pumping on a budget. But again, guys, if you have any more questions, hit me up on Instagram, guys. Hit me up on Instagram, and be sure to check out masculinehealthsolutions.com, and keep the questions rolling in, and I will keep doing my best to put as much content out as much as possible, guys. And also sign up so I can stay in contact, and I can let you guys know when I have a new podcast or a new article or anything else coming out in the near future. And guys, I appreciate the support, and I'd like to thank all of you for supporting me and just, hey, supporting the podcast, man. All right, but if you do want to check out a good place to get an air pump, a great place to go would be mattersofsize.com, codisdistributing.com, lapump.com, and you can always check out Amazon for quality devices. Be sure to go with one with a gauge, and make sure it's waterproof. You don't want to get one that's not waterproof, and it's just going to mess it all up the moment you put some water into it. So make sure you get yourself a good pharmaceutical grade type product. If not, just make sure it's good quality, and just put it to good use, man. Put it to good use. All right. Until the next episode, stay safe.